Welcome to ModiMakes.
What's good, everybody? My name is Modi, this is ModiMakes, and today I'm gonna be putting animals where they shouldn't be using Photoshop. So there's this amazing account on Instagram that I've been enjoying for about a year or so now called Animals Where They Shouldn't Be, and as the name suggests, it's a bunch of photos submitted by other Instagram users of animals found in odd and often hilarious positions, and I find it fantastic. Most of the photos are real, or at least appear to be real, and are just animals in funny situations, like some of my favorites, such as Chihuahua standing on four locos, elephant drinking out of toilet, and dog rejecting society's rules. Which are just my names for the photos, but I feel like they're pretty appropriate given the context that the photos show. And then there's another sort of section on the page, just these amazing photo composites that people create of animals that are just either really interesting and beautiful, or also funny and kind of ridiculous, such as these ones like polar bear in the desert, cow swims with a dolphin, and my personal favorite, shark in the forest. And it's this last one that kind of inspired me to do what I'm doing today, which is I wanted to dust off my old Photoshop skills and see if I can make some quality, beautiful, and sort of fantastical, realistic looking, but obviously not real photo composites of animals where they shouldn't be. So let's get into it, shall we? I'm going to start by jumping on to Unsplash, which, if you don't know anything about Unsplash, it's this amazing resource where you can find beautiful, large images or photos mostly taken by legit impressive photographers of pretty much anything you can think of. So I'm just gonna hop on there and I'm just going to type in animal and see what photo grabs me real quick. Okay, so I think I'm going to grab this image of a turtle right here, and I had this idea of using it in a similar manner to the shark image I showed you, and showing the turtle kind of flying through the air. So we're going to grab this image and we're just going to isolate the turtle from the rest of the image real quick. Now we need to find a background image to put this turtle in, and the most important thing that I look for when I'm looking for my background images is making sure that the lighting matches in angle and intensity, whether it's like direct lighting, like directly from the sun or something, or if it's more diffuse lighting, like it's a cloudy day or something like that, or at least that it's close enough that we can make it work, because you can fudge it a fair amount in Photoshop, but the closer it is in the beginning, the better the image is gonna look at the end of the day anyway. So if you can get it to be closer, that's gonna be a much better final outcome for you. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with this one because I can angle the turtle to make the lighting match and the intensity is similar. Plus the colors of the trees match well with the colors on the turtle shell, which is nice. And it has this splash in the water, which I think I can use as the splash from the turtle jumping out of the water, which I think would just be a nice element to kind of pair the images together. So the next most important thing is making the colors match for the two images. For this one, the biggest thing is changing this blue on the bottom of the turtle. Since it's not underwater anymore, there shouldn't be this deep blue ambient light hitting the bottom anymore. So I'll put a color layer over that and paint in a less saturated color using a color I picked from the water here would probably be a good choice. Always use the environment's color colors to match the scene as closely as possible, because that gives you a good reference point to go off of instead of just kind of guessing on your own, which can give you a little bit worse results. Then I'm going to mess with the lighting on the turtle using the burn and dodge tools, which will change, like if you don't know what the burn and dodge tools do, they change the exposure of the image artificially. And I think this looks a lot better than using like black or gray for the shadows or whites for the highlights or anything like that, because it actually uses the pixel information that's already in the image, which just makes it a more realistic kind of shadow rather than, you know, just like a blackish blob thing going on. Next, I need to take care of the reflections in the water, because obviously if the turtle's not in that, then we have an issue with believability. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a displacement map for water ripples. Now, this is not nearly as difficult to do as it sounds. All you gotta do is create a new document that's larger than the image you're working on. Then you fill the whole document with black and slap on a noise filter at maximum. Once you've done that, you go back to your layers panel and click on channels. Click on the red channel here and then go back to filter and hit stylize and emboss. You're gonna wanna set the angle to 180 and the amount to maximum. Then you go over to the green channel after doing that, and you do the same thing, but you're gonna wanna set the angle to 90 instead of 180. Now we need to stretch out the ripples to roughly match the size of the ripples in the water in our image. And we wanna have a little perspective in there too, so things are more stretched out the closer they are to the camera. So what you do is you go to Edit, Transform, Perspective, then zoom out super far and grab one of the nodes at the bottom of the image and stretch it way out. Now, when we look at the image, it looks like trippy rave water ripples. So take this image and save it as named displacement map as a PSD file format. Now we go back to our turtle and copy the turtle layer, flip it vertically and squash it a little bit to match the reflection of that splash, which we can use as reference to kind of see how good our turtle reflection will be looking. And then you go to Filter, Distort, Displace, choose our displacement map and apply it to the turtle. Then you can just go back and forth with these settings and change the vertical and horizontal scale sliders until you're happy with the result. Now you just mess with the opacity a little bit and add on some reddish color in that color layer that we already set up to match the red of the turtle shell and the red reflection in the water splash. If you notice that there's a little bit of red in there from the trees in the background. And that's all looking pretty good. I think that works. Okay, after all that, it's a matter of adding a couple elements to hide the transition lines between the two images and make the turtle feel more like a part of the photo instead of, you know, on top of it. So to do that, I'm going to grab this water splash element and isolate it. Then I place it underneath the turtle and mess with the angle, lighting, and color until it's in a place I'm happy with. Now just repeat the reflection step to get the water splash reflecting in the water, and you're on the money. Now that we got that one finished, let's try another one. So back to Unsplash, and we'll type in animal again and see what tickles the old fancies. I think I'm gonna go with this tiger image here because it's quite powerful and majestic. Plus, everyone loves a white tiger. So we'll take that guy and isolate just the tiger as you do. Then I'm thinking for this one, I'm wanting to put him in a cityscape a la Madagascar 1 when they're running around New York, because I think that's a powerful image. So I'm going to grab this image of a subway station, since it and the tiger image are both, front on, and I think I can make the tiger look like it's just getting to the top of the stairs in the image. For this, all we'll really have to do is erase the bottom of the back legs on the tiger so that they're below the top step. Then it's just about getting the lighting and colors correct. So I'll grab those same dodge and burn tools I used before and highlight where the light's hitting and darken the opposite sides, just using the shadows that are in the image as reference for that. And also adding that color layer on top and painting in some greens in the shadows for bounce light from the green metal and a little yellow on the highlighted areas to warm up the tiger and match the scene's lighting a little bit better. Now we just need to add in a drop shadow, and to do that I'm just going to make a selection on the tiger, and in a different layer below I'll fill that layer with the same color as the drop shadows in the image from the railings here and stuff. I'll set that bad boy to multiply and drop the opacity a little bit. Then you add on a Gaussian blur to soften those edges. And then I'm going to take the burn tool again and add some darker contact shadows near the tiger itself, like right below the feet, and in the middle of the drop shadow area where the least light from like bounce light and reflected light would be touching it. And boom, we have a tiger walking up the stairs from a subway station. Okay, I think I got time to do one more composite before we finish up here, and while I was looking for that tiger image, I noticed this amazing image of a bear just cold, chilling, laying back, and I really want to work with it. So we're gonna grab that real quick. I'll grab that bad boy and isolate him. Now, I was originally thinking about putting him in a hammock because I thought that would be kind of funny, but I couldn't find an image of a hammock with the right lighting and angle for it to really work. So I think I'm going to use this image of a boat beached on shore and just put him in the boat real quick. He's going to be looking so bummed just chilling in this boat like he's remembering something from his childhood or something. With this boat seascape image, the lighting is quite a bit dark and has a gold to tan to brown gradient kind of working with the lighting. So we're going to have to mess with some adjustments on the bear to match the lighting and contrast a little better. So we'll just lower the brightness and mess with the contrast until we're happy with it. Now I'm going to make a selection using the edges of the bear image, and on a different layer that I'm going to set to color, I'm going to paint in one of the neutral tones from the sand to match the colors of the scene a little bit better. And that's already looking pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my dodge and burn tools again and paint in some shadows where the bear is contacting the boat and on the opposite side from where the light is coming from. Then just add a little bit of a warmer tone where the highlights are. You know, that's already looking pretty much perfect, and since that turned out to be easier than I thought, and I think it took a lot less time than I was expecting it to, I think I want to add in another element. What if he has just like a paddle in his mouth and he's just sitting there thinking, well, what do I do now? Okay, so I'm going to grab this image of paddles and isolate one of them real quick. Then it's just a matter of placing it properly, erasing the part where it's going through his mouth. Then you just do the same thing of messing with the brightness, contrast, and saturation. Then paint on the color layer to match the scene colors, just like we did with the bear. Then you mess with the shadows and highlights to match the scene, and we'll be good to go. Absolutely beautiful. Well, there you have it, my peoples. My submissions for animals where they shouldn't be is complete. And now it's just a matter of sending them in and seeing if any of them get chosen for the page. But you know, I'm pretty happy with how these ones turned out. It's been a long time since I've done anything like this, and it's nice to know that I still have a little bit of Photoshop skills in it. I definitely think the bear is my favorite one. I think it turned out the best, with the turtle being a close second. The tiger is still really good too, but I think I overworked the shadows and the bounce light and everything like that a little bit too much, and it makes it look a little kind of CGI or a little bit fakeish, but it's still really a beautiful image and it looks good. It just looks a little overworked like that. But let me know what you guys think of the images down in the comments below, and let me know if you guys have any questions about this video or any other videos I've made. I'm definitely going to look through them all, and I'm happy to answer every single one, as I always do. And you know, if you liked the video, go ahead and give me a like. That would be fantastic. And if you like me, you like the channel, and you want to help support me, the number one thing that you can do is to subscribe. I really couldn't thank you enough if you did. It means the world to me. And with all that out of the way, and without further ado, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.